Welcome to the Data Standards Body YouTube channel. This video discusses the candidate issues for Maintenance Iteration 18. The consultation for Maintenance Iteration 18, MI 18, is captured in Decision Proposal 340, DP 340. The iteration candidates for the current iteration are displayed on the Data Standards Maintenance Project board. The standards maintenance process facilitates the proposal of enhancements, corrections, or changes to the consumer data standards. This runs throughout the year adjacent to the decision proposal consultations. To contribute to the maintenance iteration, request an invitation to the maintenance iteration call via contact@consumerdatastandards.gov.au. MI calls are held every 2 weeks on a Wednesday. DP 340 provides the agendas and dates for upcoming maintenance iteration calls and the minutes for past calls. The MI 18 consultation opened on 17th January 2024. The first maintenance iteration call was on 7th February 2024. MI 18 includes a number of candidates for consideration. As well as general holistic feedback, there are issues in the categories consumer experience, security, metrics, and energy. Issue 629, Maintenance Iteration 18 Holistic Feedback, Non-Breaking. Issue 557, Withdrawal of an SUI by an account holder leaving an empty authorization. Issue 633, Collection Consents, Authorization Amendment. Issue 628, Addition of a DH-side endpoint for querying the status of a consent establishment flow. Issue 631, Updates to Revoking Consent Standards. Issue 626, Authorization Metrics V2 Abandonments by Stage, Property Descriptions and CDS Guide. Issue 623, Add new pricing models to Energy Plan Contract V2. Issue 624, Improved Structure for Solar Time Varying Tariffs. Issue 625, Additional fields to support Step Tariff calculations. Issue 627, Energy Plan Tariff Period, Change to Daily Supply Charge. Issue 629. Each maintenance iteration has a related holistic feedback issue for raising minor changes such as text corrections or description clarifications. Participants are invited to add suggestions as comments to this issue. Issue 629 captures holistic feedback for MI 18. This is a non-breaking change. Issue 557, where a secondary user, SU, has created a data sharing arrangement that encompasses accounts owned by that SU and accounts owned by another account holder, courtesy of a secondary user instruction, SUI. What happens when the other account holder removes the SUI? How should the arrangement be represented in the dashboards of the respective parties? Issue 633. A data holder is required to invite the CDR consumer to amend the authorization to disclose CDR data when an amendment notice is received. This change request seeks to clarify that if an ADR invites a consumer to amend a collection consent, then they must provide the relevant CDR arrangement ID to the data holder for the corresponding authorization to be amended. Issue 628. This change request proposes a new data holder endpoint that allows ADRs to obtain the status of a consent flow. The proposed design of that endpoint is provided. Issue 631 proposes changes to the CDS Revoking Consent section in response to updated wording of Rule 418AA regarding expiry of consent, the consent expires for any reason, Rule 426A regarding notification of expired authorization, an authorization is withdrawn or otherwise expires. Issue 626 proposes changes to the property descriptions in the abandonmentsByStage object to clarify the distinction between the terms abandon and reject in this context. Issue 623 proposes 3 new pricing model options: demand, This is to cover demand tariff contracts. Demand cont load. This is to cover demand tariff contracts with controlled load tariffs. Other. This is to cover multiple primary tariffs and primary tariffs as controlled load. Issue 624 proposes changing the time-varying tariffs from an object to an array of objects to cater for multiple time bands and rates. This facilitates an offer having multiple solar feed-in tariff policies, with each solar fit policy having multiple rates with different time periods. In addition, a time-varying tariffs display name field is required to describe each object in the time-varying tariffs array. Issue 625 proposes to add the period field as per tariff period, single rate, period to the following objects: tariff period, time of use rates, solar feed-in tariff, controlled load. The period field facilitates calculation of step tariffs by ADRs. Issue 627 proposes changes to the EnergyPlanTariffPeriod schema to support banded daily supply charges. That concludes the list of candidate issues for MI18. For more detail, read DP 340 and the issues listed here. To provide feedback, comment on DP 340 or on the individual issue. Thank you for participating in developing the Consumer Data Standards.